Hello everyone, we are here now with the second part of this interesting story. Before we start, please mention where from you all are listening to our story, and don't forget to subscribe this channel for more stories. As she was walking, she heard the faint sound of crying. Her heart quickened. She followed the sound halfway down the road until she saw a man kneeling beside an old minivan, its side door open, revealing 5 small children inside. The man looked exhausted, overwhelmed, and on the brink of something, maybe frustration, maybe tears. He was checking the van's flat tire while trying to calm the chaos behind him. "Hey," he said to the kids over his shoulder. "I promise we'll get going soon, okay? Just give Daddy a second." Mara felt something in her chest shift. She didn't know this man. She didn't know why her feet carried her closer. But something inside her, something bruised and tender, responded to the sound of children in distress like a forgotten instinct waking up. "Do you need help?" she asked softly. He looked up at her, startled, then exhaled with relief. "Actually, yes. Yes, I really do." She stepped closer, offering a small, cautious smile. He looked like he hadn't slept in days. His shirt was wrinkled, his hair tousled, and his eyes held exhaustion behind a deep kindness she didn't expect. "I'm Jalen," he said, wiping his hands on his jeans. "Sorry for the circus behind me." A small toddler peeked over the edge of a car seat, eyes wide, cheeks tear-streaked. Mara's chest tightened again, but this time the feeling wasn't pain, it was something else entirely. "I'm Mara," she replied. "How can I help?" He gestured toward the tire. "I know how to change it, but I can't do it fast enough while they're all freaking out." "Their mom, well, it's just me now." She nodded slowly. She understood what "just me now" meant. She understood loss. She understood emptiness. And strangely, standing beside this chaotic, messy minivan filled with life, messy, crying, loud life, she felt something unfamiliar flutter inside her. Something like purpose. Something like possibility. "Would you like me to talk to them while you fix the tire?" she asked. Jalen looked genuinely grateful. "Yes. That would be amazing." She stepped closer to the minivan and gently introduced herself to the children. They looked at her with curiosity, sadness, and hope all mixed together. And for reasons she didn't yet understand, she felt herself softening toward them instantly. As she comforted the smallest one and guided the others into a calmer rhythm, she saw Jalen out of the corner of her eye, working quickly but watching her too, like he was seeing something unexpected. And in that moment, something quiet but powerful began to shift inside her broken heart. The children settled more quickly than she expected. Maybe it was because they were already exhausted from the long morning, or maybe it was because Mara somehow knew the right tone, the right gentleness, the right way to hold out her hands without crowding them. The littlest boy clung to her shirt, hiding his face in her side. The older girl, about 9, watched her warily at first, but slowly the tension in her shoulders eased. Jalen kept glancing toward her as he worked on the tire, as if he couldn't quite believe how naturally she fit into the chaos. She hummed softly to the toddler, smoothing his hair, and the sound blended strangely well with the rustling trees around them. When the tire was finally secure, Jalen straightened, wiping sweat from his forehead. "You're amazing," he said, almost breathless, half laughing. "I've been driving 30 minutes with a van full of meltdown and you got them calm in like 2 minutes." She shrugged with a small, shy smile. They just needed someone to slow down with them. The older girl stepped forward, clutching her little brother's hand. "Daddy, she's nice," she said simply, then returned to the van with a sense of trust that felt surprising after only minutes. Jalen let out a long exhale, the kind that came from deep weariness. It's been a rough morning, he said. Rough week. Rough year, actually. Mara nodded slowly. She wasn't ready to share her own rough year, but there was something comforting about standing next to someone who looked like he understood the weight of life pressing in. Thank you, he said again, meeting her eyes. Really? I didn't know how I was going to get through this moment. It's okay, she said softly. Anyone would have stopped. He gave a small laugh. I'm pretty sure plenty of people would have just kept driving. She looked away, not knowing what to say. Her instinct had been simple, children crying sounded like pain, and she had too much of her own to ignore anyone else's. Are you headed somewhere important? She asked. Just trying to get to the grocery store without losing my mind, he said. It's my first month doing all this alone. Still figuring it out. She hesitated. Her heart felt delicate, like touching anything too deeply would make it shatter again. But there was something honest in his exhaustion, something that didn't demand anything of her, something that didn't judge her for what she lacked. If you want, she said cautiously, I can walk with you. Help keep the kids calm while you shop. He blinked, startled by the offer. Are you sure? I don't want to be a burden. It's fine, she said. I have the day free. It wasn't technically true. She had chores. She had laundry. She had 1,000 quiet tasks that filled the silence of her empty house. But none of those things felt important right now. He smiled, a real one this time, warm and grateful. If you're sure, I'd really appreciate it. They loaded the kids into the van, and she walked beside them as Jalen drove slowly to the grocery store. Once inside, the children clung to her again as if she had always been part of their world. She helped them pick fruit while Jalen went down aisles searching for ingredients. The kids asked her questions. What's your favorite color? Do you like animals? Do you know how to braid hair? She answered each one gently, feeling herself ease into their presence like her heart had been waiting for something to soften it again. When they reached the checkout, Jalen looked both relieved and slightly embarrassed. I'm sorry they're all over you. It's okay, she said honestly. I don't mind. He hesitated before asking, do you have kids? Her breath caught. She looked away, focusing on the conveyor belt. No. He nodded, not pushing further, not prying. Somehow that made the answer hurt a little less. They walked out of the store, and the afternoon sun warmed her shoulders. She felt a strange fullness in her chest, something she hadn't felt in months. Would you like a ride home? He asked. It's the least I can do. She almost said no out of habit, out of fear of closeness, fear of being noticed, fear of being seen. But the children were smiling at her, and Jalen's expression held no expectations. Sure, she said softly. The drive was short. When they pulled up to her house, she unbuckled one of the toddlers who reached for her with little arms that felt like warmth she hadn't known she needed. She handed him gently to Jalen and stepped back. Thank you again, he said. If you ever need anything, well, I'm around. She nodded, unsure what to do with the small spark inside her. Take care. And drive safe. The van pulled away, kids waving through the windows, and her heart ached in a new way she didn't yet understand. That night, she couldn't sleep. Her mind replayed the sound of little voices, the sight of small hands reaching for her, the image of Jalen's tired, kind eyes. She lay awake thinking about the way her chest had softened when she held the toddler, the natural ease she felt guiding the others through the aisles, the strange ache that felt like healing instead of hurting. The next morning, she heard a knock on her door. Her heart raced. When she opened it, she found the older girl standing there with a small paper bag and a wide, hopeful smile. "Daddy said I could bring this," the girl said. "It's cookies. I helped make them." Before Mara could answer, Jalen appeared behind her, carrying the smallest child on his hip. "Sorry," he said gently. They were insistent. They wanted to thank you. Mara blinked at the cookies. "Would you like to come in?" she asked before she could talk herself out of it. The children surged past her like a wave of laughter and shoes and bright voices. Silent for so long, suddenly felt alive. Their noise filled every empty corner. Jalen stepped inside more. Jalen told her about his wife, how she had passed away suddenly last year, how he had been trying to hold everything together while feeling like he was unraveling. Mara knelt to hug the children, her tears falling into their hair as they giggled. Jalen held her gently from behind, grounding her, steadying her, loving her in a way she finally believed she deserved. And in that moment, surrounded by 5 children who adored her and a man who saw her entire soul, she knew. This was the family she was meant to have. The one her heart had been quietly dreaming of all along. The one that didn't come from loss, but from unexpected grace. The one that had chosen her freely. Her story wasn't one of what she lacked. It was one of what she had finally found. A home. A place where love grew easily. A future she never imagined. And for the first time in years, she whispered a quiet truth to herself. "I'm not barren. I'm full." She looked at Jalen, at the children, at the life taking shape around her,